Larry Kudlow says nobody believes Biden is solving the border catastrophe. And I totally agree with that. No one believes Biden is really going to do that. He's saying these things because he knows that's what the majority of Americans want done. But in action, it's really not going to do anything to protect our borders because he wants the border wide open. George Soros and company want the border wide open. So we're going to play this video clip and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. All right, so let's play this clip from Fox Business from Larry Kudlow. Here we go. All right, put on my headphones here, and we can check this out. Here we go.
Baby, when I tell you that these literally exceeded my expectations and more.
So Joe Biden can pretend all he wants that he's solving this border catastrophe, but frankly, nobody believes it. That's the subject of the riff. Joe Biden's not going to fool anybody. This last-ditch election ploy to curb the flow of illegal immigrants coming into the U.S. looks to be vague, riddled with exceptions, and frankly, unenforceable. And then again, does anybody really believe Mr. Biden wants to enforce any limits to illegal immigration?
Again, nobody believes that. He wants the border wide open. He wants that voting block. He wants that cheap labor. Of course, he does not want to close down the border. He would have did it a long time ago if that was the case. He could have been did this executive order if he believed it was going to work. But he never did it. He waited until people pushed him to have to come out and make this fake stuff.
Don't think so. I mean, here's a guy whose policies have already let in at least 10 million illegals, with all the horrors that accompany that number, including sex trafficking, drug trafficking, kidnapping, crime, and enormous expense to taxpayers.
Thanks.
Joe Biden refuses to invoke Section 287G of the Immigration and Nationality Act, which empowers the border authorities to work with local police enforcement in sanctuary cities in order to identify, catch, and then deport criminals.
So why won't he do that? Why won't he want to deport the criminals back to where they came from? Why won't he do that? Because he don't want to, of course. He want these criminals here. He want this border wide open. Again, he could have fixed this problem a long time ago if he really, truly wanted to.
Now, an effort like this would pay huge dividends and would send the right message to the illegals themselves, wherever they're from. There will be a numbers game coming out of the White House, but frankly, nobody's going to believe it. I've seen estimates that when migration is limited to 2,500 per day, if you put that for a full calendar year, the crossings would hit about 912,000, but hundreds of thousands more have come in using the CPB-1 app. And, of course, Biden just recently issued an executive order to let in roughly 400,000 through a mass parole scheme. Cubans, Haitians, and Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, they can all fly directly into America. That's another 400,000. So an analysis in the New York Post suggests Biden's new crackdown could still permit 1.75 million new arrivals every year. Now,
So how is that better? How is that any better than what we already getting? I told you, this is all smoke and mirrors. Really not going to do anything to secure the border.
does anybody have confidence he'll even implement that? My thought is, how about zero illegals entering into the U.S. each year? Personally, I'm very much in favor of legal immigrants, maybe 1 million or so each year. That, by the way, was a number proposed.
Most people are okay with normal, regular immigration. Most people are okay with that. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people coming into this country illegally.
Proposed by then President Trump. But let's not blur the distinction between legal and illegal.
Facts.
Legal immigrants who speak English, who know some American history and civics, who can provide evidence that they have a job waiting for them or are going to make a significant investment into American business. These are all ideas that were put forward by the Trump administration using a point-based system that shows qualifying or non-qualifying.
How dare you have a point-based system? This is what leftists believe. How dare you build your this be built on merit and what people are really what people really can do for the country. It's not about that. It's about handouts. It's about hand-me-outs. It's about free stuff. That's what leftists believe.
Policy, by the way, copied from countries like Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, who have very successful legal immigration programs. But the Democratic Congress would have none of Trump's plan. Now, Joe Biden...
These are the same people who tout Canada's medical system and all that other stuff, but God forbid we protect our borders like Canada, though.
Never mentions a plan for legal immigration reform. And that's a pity, because a good plan would solve so many problems. Now, one more point. In his brilliant speech in Waukesha, Wisconsin, earlier in May, Mr. Trump talked about the spiraling cost of illegal immigration and how that's going to damage major entitlement programs. Take a listen to what he said.
I mean, it's just, it's going to end up cutting Social Security by allowing millions and millions, which is not sustainable, of people coming into our country through the southern border. You're going to destroy Social Security. You're going to destroy Medicare. You're going to destroy the fabric of the country. Yeah. It's not sustainable. It's not affordable by any country.
This is such an important point. So far, cost estimates for food and housing and health care are running upwards of $150 billion, that according to the House Budget Committee. In all likelihood, the true cost is much greater. But Trump's point is so important. The spiraling cost of illegal immigration will, in fact, crowd out America's basic entitlement system. And this is a problem that no one but Mr. Trump has dared raise.
It's facts.
On the other hand, just ask taxpayers on the street who are already footing the high-cost bills of illegal immigration. Joe Biden can pretend all he wants that he's solving this problem. But the reality is nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change until, that is, the White House changes hands. All right? That's my riff.
1,000% agree with everything that KUDLOW said there. I mean... He really broke that down. But y'all, let me know what y'all think about this. Do y'all agree with KUDLOW? Do you really believe that this executive order is gonna help? Do you really believe that's gonna help anything? Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.